Greetings, folks. Here I am comparing these two series. At the top, we have Blake 7, and I don't have a very good zoom in and zoom out feature. But yeah, so the seventh is in the background, the computer, Zen. So I'm going to compare just the. So this is about the cast design and the functions within a plot. So let's compare the lead characters. Also, I've used some typology in this. So here we go. So both of these are. Let's just read it through, and then we'll see the comparisons. So the tail role, the role in the tail is the idealistic leader. Rog Blake is the political revolutionary and charismatic cause leader, a former dissident framed. He was framed as a. I've picked up a nice euphemism from the YouTuber Second Story. Euphemism is he was framed as a PDF file. Right. Yeah. And this is in the first episode of Blake 7. A little bit dark. They implanted memories into the children so that they would pass a lie detector. Pretty dark. So, yeah. Blake was set up, brainwashed and broken by the totalitarian Terran Federation. Now, this was written by Terry Nation, and a lot of this would happen with the framing of dissidents in the DDR, the Deutsche Democratic Republic, the old East Germany, where they would fit up dissidents as PDF files. Yeah, right. So Blake transforms from a victim into a galvanizing force for rebellion. His primary narrative function is to be the uncompromising idealist, whose personal trauma fuels a collective crusade. He recruits a band of criminals and outcasts, not for a heist, but for a war of liberation. His leadership is inspirational yet morally complex. He is willing to manipulate, sacrifice, and risk everything for his vision of a freed galaxy. He operates outside the system entirely, seeking not reform, but its complete overthrow. His role is that of the catalyst. He disrupts the stagnant despair of the crew and the galaxy, forcing everyone to take a side. So yeah, he is driven. He is a fanatic. As Avon once said about Avon to a crewmate, Blake is an idealist. He cannot afford to think. The role of Dylan Hunt. Here you have the conservator guardian who wishes to conserve, to stabilize. Dylan Hunt is the temporal restorer and guardian of a lost legacy, a high guard captain of the system's commonwealth. He has thrust 300 years into the future via time dilation at a black hole's event horizon. He awakens to a long night where his noble, peaceful civilization has crumbled. His primary narrative function is to be the anachronistic idealist. Unlike Blake, Dylan is not a revolutionary, but a conservative restorer. His mission is to rebuild, reinstate, and rekindle the specific laws, protocols, and ideals of a past golden age. He is a man out of time, often perceived as naively optimistic in a cynical, fragmented universe. His leadership is based on duty, protocol, and an unwavering belief in a proven system. He is the steward trying to resurrect a better past to save the future. He is a collaborator guardian. Blake is an initiator idealist. Right then. So let's the typology of Rog Blake. Core type and temperament. So I had to feed it a lot of information to get to this point. It's not so all of the credit for this video shouldn't be going to this large language model. I had to feed it, right, and go through all of my rationalization, right. Right. I just had a thought there. It's not getting my YouTube earnings. Right. ENFJ idealist, temperament. That's not right. Temperament cooperative. Cooperative is what? Yes. Yeah. That's idealist is a cooperative temperament, just as guardian is a cooperative temperament. Let me just check that next one. Yeah. Rather than a utilitarian temperament. Artisan and rational temperaments are utilitarian, as in Maverick, do it their own way. Whereas Blake is cooperative, but this is the thing with ENFJs. Let's go talk about that later. So cognitive club, NF, okay, intuition, feeling, valued functions, club and counter club. This is with I had to teach it my own model as well. Yeah, and more on that on my channel, Model Vaseland. Yeah. Dominant. The dominant club is NF. Extroverted feeling drives his charismatic leadership and focus on group harmony and ethical cause. Introverted intuition fixates on a singular transformative vision of the future, the downfall of the Federation. So what he wants to do is good. It's about how he does it. Tertiary counter club, extroverted sensor. A valued ST function provides a capacity for present moment action and grasping tactical opportunities, though it is secondary to his NI vision. Inferior, introverted thinking. A weak but valued ST function manifests as a rigid, subjective internal logic that justifies ends over means decisions. Allergic function. Following the rule, flipping the verting of tertiary SE. Yeah, this is a rule I taught it. His weakest and unvalued function is introverted sensor. He is profoundly allergic to tradition, established procedure, and the weight of past precedents. His mission is to invent a future, not restore a past. Now, if we look at Dylan Hunt, is ESFJ. Guardian temperament, cooperative. This is the kind of man that INTP females would like. SF club, unless they're looking for an INTP male. Valued functions, extroverted feeling, builds alliances, fosters crew cohesion, and upholds a moral code. Introverted sensor. The core of his character is dedicated to preserving and restoring the concrete details, traditions, and laws of the past Commonwealth. Extroverted intuition. A valued NT function allows him to improve and explore tactical possibilities, but it's also an NF function, NE, but always in the service of his SI-based goal of restoration. Inferior. Introverted thinking. A weak but valued NT function, he struggles with cold, deconstructive logic that threatens his FE and SI. Or in other words, head versus heart. Many cases it comes out as. Allergic function. Following the rule, flipping the verting of the tertiary NE, his weakest and unvalued function is introverted intuition. He is allergic to radical top-down visionary schemes that seek to create a new world order from abstract principles, rather than rebuild a proven, known one. So we have the same role, but it's enacted differently. So again, the way I construct characters, I added another level to Robert McKee's idea of characterization, true character, and the personal unconscious. I added social role there. So it's the story role. And you can sometimes get contradictions between the story role and the characterization, the story role and the true character. Right. So then, again, the pragmatic cynic. So we have the INTJ. I tell you, he's a good actor. What is it? Is it Keith Callum Cobb? No. Keith Callum Rennie? But Cobb, he's a good actor, that guy at the bottom. Right. Great voice, very theatrical voice. Yeah. Uh, Kurt Avon is the archetypal cynical pragmatist and strategic. So there was a quote that I thought Terry Nation wrote, and I asked the large language model, and this was the quote, and I'll do it in Kerr's voice. I have never understood why it should be necessary to become irrational in order to prove that you care, nor indeed why it should be necessary to prove it at all. But he apparently nicked that Terry Nation off Bertrand Russell. Right then. So, Kurt Avon is the archetype, pragmatist, and strategic intellect. The hacker before there were hackers, a brilliant electronics expert, 1978, and master strategist. His role is the anti-idealist. He serves as Blake's indispensable intellectual counterweight, constantly auditing motives, exposing flaws, and operating on a principle of calculated self-interest born of specific personal betrayals. He embodies cold logic, viewing emotion, loyalty, and idealism as dangerous vulnerabilities. His complex relationship with Blake, a fusion of distrust, dependency, and grudging respect, forms the core dramatic tension. Now, what you have there, though, is you have the interaction of character with setting. I mean, if you are already a cynical person, have that predisposition, and the world is very much in line with that and presents a lot of evidence that you're right, then you're going to be extra cynical. The role of Tyr Anasazi is the ideological pragmatist and Darwinian tactician. A Nietzschean warrior, his role is the philosophical counterweight. Like Avon, he is a self. I mean, I'm not going to get into the reading of Nietzsche here because Nietzsche himself was yeah, he was pretty, yeah. I mean, it is a way of reading him, yeah. Like Avon is a self-interested, cynical of Dylan's idealism and a genius in his domain. However, his cynicism is not psychological but doctrinal. You see, this is the thing. I think it's doctrinal and his personality type. So, yeah, is that because his personality type is ISTP. ISTPs are cynical, but he is actually brought up in that Nietzschean way as well. Yeah. However, his cynicism is not psychological but doctrinal. The internalized creed of a culture that venerates strength, genetic lineage, and the will to power. But again, I think it's natural as well. He's less a calculator and more predator, assessing every situation through the lens of advantage and power dynamics. Yeah. So ISTJ and with a philosophy that fits it. Right then. Typology of Kurt Avon, INTJ. INTJ, yeah. Yeah, the temperament is utilitarian, as in maverick. Do things your own way. Now, Blake is so obsessed that he's going to do some ends justify the means stuff. But all the while, I think that it's a pretty extreme case, though, and it's sort of implied. It becomes more overt towards the end of season B of Blake 7. Yeah, so dominant club, introverted intuition constructs a singular long-term strategic model for survival. Yeah. Extroverted thinking executes the NI vision with useless impersonal efficiency. Introverted feeling, a valued SF function, provides a core of fierce private self-preservation and a personal, albeit cynical code. Yeah, and that could have been drawn out a bit more. Extrovert, but and a better actor would be needed. I'm saying extroverted said a weak but valued SF function makes him dismissive of pure tactical opportunism. Nah, but it doesn't quite understand this model. I didn't have enough time to train it properly to talk to it about my model. It takes flipping ages to explain it. Is that it's both inferior, but the INTJ can also be enthralled by extroverted sensing as well, but and is suggestible for it. Yeah. Is very much attracted to the power of extroverted sensor. Following the rule, but one doesn't have to necessarily act on a sort of an instinctive drive towards it. It can be like, say, the INFJ woman who is attracted towards the ESTP bad boy. She doesn't necessarily have to act on that instinct to try and fix her man. Yeah. Allergic function. Following the rule, flipping the verting of the tertiary FI, his weakest function and unvalued function is extroverted feeling. This is the core of his character, an active allergy to group sentiments, moral appeals, and communal ethics. He views FE as catastrophic irrationality. Now, he does have some. It says that, but he still takes the code and espouses the code of the Nietzscheans that he's a part of, or his clan. Was it? What did he call it? A clan? I can't remember. It wasn't quite a clan. His tribe. I think it was something else. Yeah. I've only watched six episodes, so I'm not sort of totally au fait with it. Temperament is okay. So the main difference between him and Avon is more abstract, and Tyr is more concrete, more short term. Builds a precise internal model of cause and effect in mechanics. That's not true, because really, TI is subjective thinker, right? The problem is with these is that's more how INTP does it. Introverted intuition. Extroverted sensing, mastery of the present moment is a warrior technician. Yeah. Well, what I mean is, extroverted sensing helps him do that because of the natural sort of predisposition to be in the moment. So it's drawn on. Introverted intuition, a valued NF function provides and it's also an NT function as well, provides a narrow, long-range focus on a singular personal goal. But it also means you can get tunnel vision. Yeah, that's it, pride. His pride status, not tribe, pride. Inferior, extroverted feeling, a weak but valued NF function allows for pride-based loyalty, but manifests as contempt for weak communal morality. Yeah. So it's valued a little bit. Allergic function follows the. Yeah, again, these ISTP characters do not get on well with ENFPs. So, for example, if you think of Dark Matter, where you had the Asian, Far East Asian, the one that played, good actor actually, who played that, say, he actually even had a samurai sword. He did not get on well with the purple-haired ENFP woman. Yeah. And this one similarly doesn't get on well with the trans Gemini, the ENFP woman on here, right? His weakest function is irrational, introverted intuition. This is his true blind spot. He is allergic to abstract possibilities, idealistic visions, speculative futures. He cannot comprehend any of trance, which seems chaotic and yeah. They think ISTPs literally think that ENFPs are scatterbrained. I probably think all ENFPs that they've encountered. Well, if you have ISTPs in the community, you probably think all ENFPs have ADHD. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot of similarities there in role. Now, this is where we have the alien. The alien heart is the role. But again, it's how you then. So it does show that what you can do is you can create, you can take a format, you can take the dynamics, but you can fulfill those dynamics in different ways. So and she was not happy with how the character ended up, the actress playing Jan Chappell, because she was a bit tougher in initial appearance. Then she just became that sort of like the caring heart. No spoilers, please. I've only watched 6 episodes of Andromeda. Callie is the alien insurgent and empathic anchor. As a telepathic and freedom fighter, her role is that of the true believer. She provides emotional resilience. Yeah, hang on a minute. She even asks Blake in season B, are we extremists? Are we fanatics? Right. She provides emotional resilience and an unwavering quiet loyalty. She often serves as the crew's conscience, representing the communal and spiritual costs of their war. Yeah, that conscience bit is true. So that's more the NF part of it. The conscience part, the NF. Are we doing the right verb? I don't like saying the thing. Role of Transgemini. Transgemini is the enigmatic alien and mystical wildcard. Her role is the optimistic. Again, so she's more FI Dom. She's like ENFP Her role is AF subtype. You could also call it the Sue Pollard subtype. Her role is the optimistic catalyst and hidden power. The Deus Ex Machina. She provides a cryptic insight, emotional warmth, and often serves as a Deus Ex Machina. God from machine, or God out machine. Her actions guided by non-linear understanding of time and reality. Right then. Yeah. Yeah, both perform the medic role. INFP, temperament, both cooperative, yeah, NF. Probably, yeah, INFP, ENFP. Following the rule, flip S. Her weakest function is extroverted sensing. She can be disconnected from the immediate physical rate in favor of inner order. Again, but she in her first episode, she came across more as about more like a terrorist in her first episode, and more like ISFP. But then she was given this sort of this role of the conscience. And then going back to the allergic function of trans, following the rule, flip TE. Her weakest function is introverted thinking. She is allergic to deconstructive logic that seeks to pick apart her intuitive insights. I don't know, it really comes out like that. Because deconstructive logic could be extroverted thinking as well. What it is, they were sort of against impersonal subjective thinking, sort of impersonal hypothetical thinking. If they're going to listen to thinking, they want thinking that's based in facts. So tertiary, empirical. Right then. So the next one. A lot of similarity here in role. Yeah. Yeah, the Han Solo type. This version here on the Andromeda version, better written and better acted. Yeah. The role of Jenna Stannis. So am I going to go in a bit more? Here we go. Jenna is the smuggler pilot. Maybe we want to have a look at them. All right. Jenna is the smuggler pilot and pragmatic realist. Hang on a minute. I could probably make this a bit bigger. Let's do some on-the-fly editing. Because it doesn't really matter that that's going to cover it up. I'll do it up to that. Right, there we go. Right, so Jenna is a smuggler pilot and pragmatic realist. She is the crew's initial connection to the galaxy beyond the Federation, providing essential mobility, street smart savvy, and a grounded survivalist perspective. The role of Becca Valentine. Becca is the captain, operator, and seasoned survivor. As the owner and captain of the Eureka Maru, her role is identical in function. The expert pilot and underworld connector, deepened by her own command responsibilities. Typology of Jenna Stannis and Becca Valentine. The ST Club artisans, STPs, are utilitarian temperaments. Their varied functions would follow the pattern. Their strength is a tactical. I mean, it's not even really bothered. Look, they're very similar. Yeah. Villa and Harper. Now, these ones are different. These ones are different. Yeah, because we have significant differences in here. Because, uh, yeah, the comedic technician, whereas Avon is the technical wizard in Blake Seven. Villa is the lockpick, the talented thief. Role of Villa Vestal. Villa is the anxious artisan and genius thief. His role is the skilled survivalist and comedic everyman. He is a thief to his core, an artisan SP who has mastered a tactile improvisational craft. His genius is reactive, situational, and rooted in the present moment. His primary narrative function is to provide essential technical skill and voice the audience's fear through humour and panic. Role of Seamus Harper. And we also have opposite personality types as well, but not totally, not doubly opposite, not opposite in Kersey and in functions, but opposite in functions. So single conflictors, I would say. Seamus Harper is the witty engineer and traumatized genius. Like Villa, he is a technical savant and primary source of humor. However, his comedy is hyperverbal, pop culture laden defense mechanism, masking deep trauma from slavery. Typology. So again, there's the plot function, the tail role, and then there is the characterization. So you can have different characters in the same role or similar role. Typology of Villa Vestal. ISFP, artisan temperament with a strong Enneagram 6 fixation. Right. His weakest function is extroverted intuition. He is allergic to speculative big picture planning. Seamus Harper. Let's just go to the allergic. His weakest function is introverted feeling. He is allergic to confronting his own deep, vulnerable emotions and core values. Yeah. This is a big similarity between the two. This one. Big similarity. The constrained threat. The constrained threat. And just notice this similarity here. Gan is the gentle giant and constrained protector. His cybernetic limiter suppresses his violent urges, making him the crew's moral compass and peacekeeper. To an extent, ESFJ as well. He represents the theme of externally controlled power. The limiter is purely external, technological, and involuntary mechanism. Yeah, I mean, the limiter stops him from killing. And then here, sorry, YouTube algorithm, you don't like that word. Role of Rev Bem. So he's INFJ. Rev Bem is a penitent monster and spiritual seeker, a Magog who has renounced his nature through the way. His role is to be the crew's philosopher and conscience. His limiter is primarily internal, but framed by an external system. His restraint is a chosen spiritual discipline. So different types and similar role, the constrained threat. Typology of Olag Gan. ESFJ. Following the rule, his weakest function is introverted intuition. He is not a visionary. He is a protector of the immediate social order. Let's go to weakest function. His weakest function is extroverted thinking. He is allergic to impersonal, efficiency-driven logic, which is Magog biology represents. Wow. All right. Next one. Right, overall comparison. I'm getting towards the end now. Right, where are we? Right, then. Here we go. Archetypal blueprint and typological adaptation. This analysis, or more properly, analysis, confirms that Andromeda replicates the precise dramatic structure of Blake 7, but executes it through a deliberate re-engineering of the psychological components. Now, Blake 7 was shown in the United States, so the writers may have been influenced. The one-to-one mapping of the 6 core roles, idealist leader, pragmatic cynic, alien heart, grounding pilot, comedic technician, constrained threat, is too specific to be coincidental and indicates a shared understanding of ensemble mechanics. Strategic typological divergence. The shows differ in the cognitive clubs and temperaments used to bring these roles to life. Leadership. Both are FE dominant cooperative leaders, but Blake's NF idealist visionary drive contrasts with Dylan's SJ Guardian restorative mission. Right, so colour coding: Artisan red, Guardian blue, Idealist green, Violet rational. I don't care about true colours. I have my own colour code and I'm not changing. Right. They're reflected in their valued auxiliary functions and opposite allergic functions. Cynical foil. This is the most sophisticated adaptation. Avon, NT rational, and Tyr, ST artisan, are both utilitarian, but oppose their leaders from different angles. Avon's SF counter club allergy targets Blake's core tool. Yeah, because he doesn't like the FE. Because it's like he sees FE as sort of manipulative of people through charisma. Tears counter club energy NE. Again, they're not relevant to this section. Yeah, yeah, because Dylan also values NE. Yeah, yeah, but wait a minute. Yeah, it's just no. Basically, it's not relevant to the section, so ignore what I said. But yeah, Villa. Technician paradox. Villa and Harper are from different temperaments but share the utilitarian traits, allowing them to fill the identical role while using opposite cognitive engines. Yeah. The limiter archetype, the most telling parallel. Gan and Rev both explore constrained monstrosity. Gan's external technological limiter contrasts with Rev's internal spiritual limiter, exploring the theme through different cooperative lenses. Right, is that the last one? Ooh, it might be, yes. Here we go. The evidence suggests conscious structural homage, or homage. Andromeda adopted the dramatic skeleton of Blake 7. Yeah, but if you're doing certain things are sort of necessary, and you're usually going to have someone who is the conscience and someone who's a bit more gung-ho. So certain things. Andromeda adopted the dramatic skeleton of Blake 7 and built upon it by swapping psychological materials. Revolutionary zeal for restorationist hope, psychological cynicism for cultural cynicism, and exploring restraints through both technological and spiritual paradigms. If you enjoy the character-driven drama and ideological clashes of Andromeda, you will find the core appeal of Blake 7 deeply familiar. Yeah, I asked it to make an argument for Andromeda fans to watch Blake 7. The fundamental dynamics of a found family on a ship are identically structured. However, you must embrace a significant tonal shift from heroic, restorative optimism to a bleaker, more morally ambiguous struggle where victories are costly and often ambiguous. The connection is in the timeless architecture of the crew, making these two distinct yet fundamentally related masterpieces of sci-fi ensemble storytelling. Right, there we go. I think that's it. Yeah, it is. The end.